week over Gervin. Was that a function of how well Knowles had played the game before, or a function of practice, how it went last week?
I think it was a combination of the two things. Last week when I sat in here, I talked about how good of a job that Rob Knowles did, and he extended that throughout practice, and thought he deserved the nod going into this week.
Blake, the pass rush, obviously we've been sort of talking about it. It seems like, based on what I've seen from film, you guys are maybe running blitzes maybe a little differently than what Manny's sort of done, and he's talked about how teams are getting the ball out quicker. I guess why aren't the sack numbers up and the tackles for loss and all that? People, like Manny said, they want you guys to be number one in everything.
No doubt.
But are you happy with the pass rush? You think you guys are getting to the quarterback the way you should?
I think this week, I think we left several sacks on the table. That was kind of one of the disappointing things when you go back and watch the film. Overall, I thought we should have, in my opinion, should have had 3 or 4 more sacks if we just do, and it takes, it's like this every year in this defense. We just have to continue to press to do our job, trust each other. But there was a couple of times I thought we had them wrapped up and got away, and then a couple of times that plays are there to be made, and we have to do a better job of making those plays when they present itself. But the ball is getting out quick, and I don't know necessarily how it was compared to last year. But in my opinion, we should have had at least 3 more sacks last week.
And I guess as a follow-up, if I could, Garvin, he's a guy who was so highly productive last year with tackles for loss, with sacks. He's played a lot. I think he's got 1 tackle for loss, no sacks. Are teams attacking him differently, maybe because there's no Gerald Willis, no Joe Jackson on his team? I guess, what have you sort of seen from him on film in terms of his performance?
I think Garvin's done a really nice job for us week in, week out. By far, he's been our best defensive end, in my opinion, from a consistency standpoint. Quite frankly, I think when the plays are there, like we just talked about, when the plays are there to be made, he's made them. I'm sure people are sliding the protection more to him, or maybe running away from him a little bit more. But he's been very consistent. He's been the bright spot at that position this fall.
To get back on Knowles, do you feel that's a spot that he'll continue to start in, or will it be kind of week to week between him and Gervin Hall?
I think it'll be week to week. To me, competition makes everybody better, and I would throw Amari Carter in that mix. I think we have 3 good safeties that are gonna challenge each other. We're gonna open it up every week, and if you're producing, you're gonna go ahead and get the nod. All 3 guys are gonna play as well. When you look at total snap counts, it was probably about even last week, and that's a good problem to have. It's a long season, and you want more than 3, but I think having 3 good safeties is a good start, and we've got to continue to build depth there at that position.
I wanted to ask you about Zach McLeod. I think he's played 21 snaps, somewhere around there. Obviously, teams are throwing the ball out more. You use the striker a lot more. And I asked Manny, I said, any thought at all to redshirting? When you've talked to Zach, I guess you see a guy who just, even though he's not playing a whole lot, is he still sort of keeping the same intensity, and kind of what's been his attitude like?
Oh, he's been great. And from a snap count, from a defensive snap count, yeah, he hasn't played nearly as much as Shaq and Pickney, but when you look at special teams and total player load, he's one of the highest on the team after the game. So he's playing a vital role for us on special teams, and his attitude, he's an awesome guy. He is awesome, and there's not been one complaint. He does what he's asked to do, and he's doing a great job when he gets in there. So his role is going to continue to expand. He did not play inside linebacker until this year, and I think it's an instinctive position. Reps and reps and reps are going to help him. Getting him on the field last week and continuing to build his reps up every week, he's going to continue to play a big part of this defense.
I know Manny said today that you'll get Bolden back, obviously, early next month. Have you given any thought to when you do have him available, would there be a way then with 4, capable safeties to get one of them on the field in another position, whether it's corner, whether that's striker? Is that a consideration, or do you see those guys as 4 pure safeties who will play safety for us?
No, I think, we're always going to try to get the best 11 on the field. So, Bubba's still learning the defense. That's to be determined when he gets in and how well he's doing. But, our striker and our safety are very similar from body type and from speed standpoint. So we haven't really discussed those avenues, but once he gets on the field and we get a feel for exactly
Maybe like slot corner position. It feels like teams have put their best receiver at that spot against you guys.
every week.
Yeah, it seems like that's what teams are mostly having the success. Is there anything you guys can really do? I saw Bandy was there, had the strip obviously on Saturday, but anything different you guys can do to sort of counteract what teams are doing?
Yeah, I think we changed some things, maybe coverage standpoint wise. Trying to mix it up between our striker and our free safety when we do play man at that position. It just depends game plan wise, but that's something that we could always go in and play pure nickel and maybe move Trajan inside or Corey Couch would be another candidate at that position. But it's something that we've talked about. I think that would be a week-to-week game plan decision. But it is funny every week for whatever reason their best receiver happens to be the slot, and I think this week's no different. So we'll have our hands full with 88.
Coach, in the game where a lot of second stringers and third stringers got in, who impressed you from that unit?
Sam Brooks, he came in and was productive. Not perfect by any means, no one is, but I forgot his exact production, but he got in there and ran around and made some plays. Ryan Rigoni, could say the same thing about him as striker, came in and was productive in a limited amount of plays. Jason Blissett had a tackle for loss on his very first college snap. So there's some guys that, you never know how they're going to perform until they're out there on that stage. And those are three guys off the top of my head that I thought did a nice job for their first really meaningful college action.
Anything else for Coach Baker? Right.